everyone, welcome to a Transformers toy review. This is number 3 in the kind of Blast from the Past series, Retro Toy Reviews number 3. And this is Transformers Action Masters Thundercracker. This is not the original Thundercracker I had as a child. I have since obviously picked this up again. Like most people, particularly the Action Masters, I got back into Transformers in a big way with Action Masters. It was at a time probably when most people may have said I was probably a little bit too old for toys, but I was at the age where I could really look after my toys probably a lot better, and kind of store all the weapons and things like that. And I took a lot more pride in the way that I looked after the toys. And certainly with the Action Masters and the Micro Masters, I had absolutely tons of them. Considering really, it's not like now where you can look online and see what's coming out in each wave. You just had to be lucky and be down the toy store and find what, the toys that they had there. And, they might have some of wave 1 or wave 2. It's just whatever was there. I don't think on the back of the figures they showed what was coming up in the waves. Maybe they had catalogs with them, I'm not sure. But I remember getting this guy. He came in a box, and the box art is absolutely awesome. It's kind of flying through the air in this kind of jet that you see here. And it also acts as kind of like an exoskeleton, so you can kind of merge with it. So the feature with these Action Masters was that the figures here didn't actually transform, but their vehicles, whether they were like Target Master type of weapons, like robots or animals that transformed into guns, or some of them had vehicles that others you could interact with that also transformed. This, for example, was a jet that he could ride, but it can also transform into a bit of a kind of an exosuit for him. So here he is, and first thing that jumps out about Thundercracker is that the colours are completely wild and crazy, a real kind of 90s neon. God, it's just mental, isn't it? All the bright colours that are on this guy. I think later on they did a version, like a classics version of this one through the Transformers Collectors Club, where they did like a Shattered Glass Thundercracker in these kind of wild colours. But there was I can't remember there being a particular explanation why he was in these different colours that you see here. Obviously Thundercracker is normally kind of a blue colour. There is some blue in him on the legs, but it's really nice. It's got tons of paint on him. You get blue plastic here. Down here is kind of like a pinky plastic with neon green paint on it. And the paint's held up pretty well. And again, with the green paint in here, Decepticon symbol here, gold paint in here for like the turbines, and then some more green paint over the top here. Or is this pink paint over the top, purple plastic? I think it might be. Or I think it's purple paint over the top of this kind of pinky plastic. Which is all done very well. You see that their head is it's probably a little bit of blue that's gone over. It might be actually that the face is blue plastic and it's painted over gold, because you see a little bits where it's going to come over slightly. So there's a bit of wear on the face, and the back of the figure cleans up quite nicely. With these ones, sometimes the legs go a little bit funny. So this one, the leg sort of comes in a little bit, but you can kind of get it so it goes out, but they're not wobbly, so they do move backwards and forwards okay. The arms actually rotate around, and they're pretty good on this one. They can, on all of these figures, they can sort of come off and on, but you probably don't want to do that because it will make them loose. But if they are loose, there are a few tricks that you can do to kind of make it a little bit more stable. The head does rotate around, but it's a bit of a tough job. The legs move up to there, back to there, and you see they're on like a metal kind of bar that goes across. So they're like G.I. Joe figures basically, and the knee bends there. And they stand up okay, and they've got little pegs in here so you can peg them onto different things. And the idea with this is actually missing a few stickers. So there's supposed to be Decepticon stickers here, and I think one's going down here. So this one's actually missing them. And there's some other ones that come into the other mode. And the idea really that he kind of almost like lays on this in this sort of position here, and then has his hands over there like that. Oh. I think that's it. So his legs kind of tuck in underneath there like that, and then the arms pegging over there, so you can kind of get him flying this kind of jet glider thing. And he's got these missile guns here underneath, they peg in underneath and underneath here, and he has got wheels underneath as well, so he can roll. So that's quite nice. He is actually a repaint of Starscream, surprisingly enough. So I've got actually Starscream as well. He does come with a jet as well, so I'll just bring in Starscream here. So actually my Starscream's in pretty good condition paint wise. So you can see the two of them side by side. They never did a sky warp, which is pretty unusual, and they didn't go in to do all the other cone heads, which they normally do. You see this one actually, the armor's a little bit looser, but the colours are really nice. I always thought these kind of Action Masters actually would have worked and looked a load better with the Pretenders, rather than the kind of not so good Transformers that we got to go with them, especially like the classics ones. I thought these ones would have gone a lot better with them. Yeah, so there's the two of them side by side, looking pretty good. And Starscream also has a jet as well. So this one actually transforms into like a base thing, but on this one he actually sits in it. So you just kind of pop him in there like that. There is supposed to be like a steering handle thing there. And obviously you can swap them around and you can have them sitting there. So that works. There are a few other kind of neon things within the range. So this is actually the tank turret for Megatron, but it actually comes apart and becomes like a flying thing. So you can actually sit him in here. You can see the colours on his arms pretty much match this, and the purple matches that. So that is actually, you know, quite good fit as well. So you can pair him with that as well if you want. So getting on to the actual vehicle, you can transform it. So you just unpeg the gun from here. It's got this huge gun in here, which pegs in there via these two pegs there. And then these two come off like that. Oh, in normal robot mode, you can get him to hold, well, you can hold either of them. I think he's supposed to hold these, but you can only kind of hold it at an angle because of this bit here. I mean, you can get him to hold this gun, but it just looks ridiculous. It's just way too big for him, but you can hold either of them. So you get this thing here, and you kind of bring it up like that, straighten these out like so. Just like that. So just be careful because you can pop out. These bits actually open up, so this is where you're going to put the legs in like that. And this section here at the back, that is where he plugs in there. So it's not, on mine anyway, it's not an ultra tight connection. I don't want to press it in too hard just because I don't want to like damage the figure or the paint on it, but you can see where it pegs in there. Mine doesn't really hold in that well at all, really. So you kind of get him in there, put the legs either side like that, and peg him in like that. And then you want to bring this section down like that. And then you can bring the arms out like so. And he kind of holds in there like that. And that's how he is. And then he's got one larger gun here, which he's supposed to hold like that. And then these other ones are supposed to go on the top here. So there you go, and that is him. That's what he's supposed to look like. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Or not, if you don't think there isn't, a great deal else to him. But for me, certainly these Action Masters, and particularly this one, just brings me straight back to my childhood, playing with these toys and getting them for the first time. You got to remember at the time, getting hold of a Thundercracker or Starscream was near enough impossible. And when these hit the toy shelves, it was the first chance to get a Soundwave, to get, I had Starscream, but to get a Thundercracker, to get a proper Megatron, Shockwave, all those figures. They were much easier to pick up and pretty easy to kind of get a more complete collection because they were so interchangeable. I never had G.I. Joe, so for me this kind of filled that gap really. So these were kind of like my G.I. Joes, if you know what I mean. Right, well that's it. What we're going to do now is obviously there isn't really much of a transformation here, so we're going to go straight to the scores on the doors. So here we are, we've got our scores on the doors for Action Master Thundercracker. Articulation, it's a 6. Hey, it's an Action Master, so articulation isn't the best. But for the time, it was pretty good. Certainly better than other G1 toys. Plus, you had the thing where you could get them to sit and interact with the other vehicles, which was a really great feature. So, by modern standards, not great, but so I've given them a 6. Transformation, initially I thought, can't really score it because, they're not supposed to transform. But, his vehicle does, which is pretty cool. So, if you held a gun to my head and said, give it a score, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 just for the vehicle mode. So pretty generous on the scoring side. Accessories, 7 out of 10. I mean, I guess you could say his main accessory is his jet, which he interacts with. Converts from a jet to kind of like a piece of mech armor or like a exosuit, whatever you prefer. And he has a few guns and things kind of armed up as well. So, I think 7 out of 10 for that. Paint, love the paint. The colours are great on this. They're well applied, very 90s. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for that. Build, again, I'm going to mark him pretty high. This figure's held up well over time. Condition is still pretty good. His arms are in pretty good shape. They're not floppy. The only thing that does go on these is the O-ring, but those can be replaced. And mine's in still good condition, so I'm going to give him a 9. So a high score there. X Factor, 8 out of 10. For me, this toy just reminds me of my childhood, playing with a full set of Action Masters with characters I didn't have before. Happy times. It does remind me of that. And then price, 7. I think 6 out of 10 actually. This originally was priced around sort of £25, sort of back in the day. But now, if you're looking to get this, say on eBay or something like that, you're looking at laying out, if not over £100. So it's a bit of a pricey one, worth holding out for though, if you can get a good price. So overall, I'm going to give Thundercracker a 7 out of 10. I think he's a great toy. The only thing holding him back for me is the availability and the price of the figure. Otherwise, it's well worth picking up. If you can get hold of him, it's worth just looking out to see if you can get him at the right price. So that's it from me, and that's it from Thundercracker. Remember guys, stay healthy, stay connected, stay safe.